Okay, we're back with something new here today. The GTR owner's 2008 to 2016 models, right hand and left hand drive. We have a 14.5-inch Tesla style screen with wireless and wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Comes with a standard Android 11 system, digital gauges and much more. Going to be taking you through the installation process, how to install the 14.5-inch screen, the brackets, how to put all that together, how to connect all the wiring. Let's go ahead and install the latest thing to Nifty City. I've gone ahead and lined up all the accessories and connectors. I'll be taking you through each single one of them and showing you which one you'll need to be using for your GTR. Okay, starting from the right hand side of the parts list, this is a GPS antenna. You connect this directly to the screen, only if you want to use navigation directly on the screen. You'll not need to use this if you're using Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The Apple CarPlay and Android Auto will use the GPS of your phone. These are the antennas for the screen itself. These antennas will strengthen the signal between the screen and your phone's Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connection for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Over here we have the factory USB port retainer. This USB port usually sits in the armrest of the GTR or most Nissan and Infiniti vehicles. You'll connect this to the USB ports. These USB ports will connect to the screen and the other side will connect behind the factory head unit's USB port connector. These are USB ports, connect directly to the screen, and then you can connect devices such as your iPhone or Android to charge the phone or to start wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You'll also use the factory USB port retainer for one of the ports there. This is the SIM card holder. You'll connect this directly to the screen and then insert your SIM card here for data directly on the screen. Okay, this is the main harness here, using mainly all connectors here. So this is the antenna. You'll connect this to the factory radio antenna here. This ground wire is only for Japanese GTR models. You'll need to use this in every GTR model. Do not use. These little wires do not use. This is another common connector that you'll need to use. It varies between each models, so depending on your head unit, you might not have this exact pin allocation. You'll need to grab an extender from one of these two here. As you can see, this is for US models, this is for Australian models. You'll just grab one of these connectors, connect it to the harness, and you'll use this extended version instead of the one that's part of the main harness. As you can see, it's duplicated, extended, and realigned for your model. This is the AC. You'll connect this to the bottom of the screen. You'll connect this one right over here. All these connectors only fit in one spot. You'll connect this black one up here. These harnesses here are going to be very straightforward. You'll be using these for factory reverse cameras or aftermarket reverse cameras. I'll show you how to use those in a sec. This harness is for aftermarket audio equipment for subs, amps, and speakers. This is a CAN bus decoder or a ground loop isolator. It does many other functions. You'll only need to use this if you have a loud buzzing or humming noise with your factory speakers. You'll connect this to the main harness and then you'll connect this to the factory connector behind the head unit. You'll only need to use this on some models. If you have it available behind your head unit, use it. And then we'll move over here. These are all brackets for left hand and right hand drive. You'll use the bracket depending on whether your GTR is a left hand or right hand drive. You'll just need to unscrew it from the back, relocate it to the different bracket. This is also a support bracket for the back of the screen. I'll show you how to install that shortly. And finally, the camera harness. You'll be using either this or this depending on the size of the connector behind your factory screen. This goes to the Tesla style unit back here. Depending on which connector you use at the back of your factory screen will depend on the RCA that you'll need to use to the CCDV on this main camera harness. So if you're using, for example, this connector, you'll need to connect that with that, connect that to the Tesla style screen. This large connector goes to only some head units, not all of them. Only if you have this, use it. I've gone ahead and gathered pictures of every type of head unit that could possibly be equipped in your GTR. I'm going to take you through which connectors you'll need to use from the main harness on your head unit there. We'll start with this common head unit. This is mainly in GTRs after 2010 in any region. This is the Japanese model head unit, mainly in 2007 to 2009 models. Japanese specifically, you'll notice that the Japanese keypad buttons on the front. This model is very rare. It's mainly in Australian models between 2008 and 2011. It can be in some US models and mainly European models. And finally, this head unit is commonly in 2007 to 2010 models in the US. This is the model that does not have any USB ports equipped in the armrest. For the main harness here, I'm going to connect the CAN bus decoder just for the purposes of showing you the connectors for every head unit. Now, all these you'll need to use here. Remember what I told you before, you'll only need to use this in some models, otherwise you'll need to use the external extenders for specific head units, which I'll show you. These connect to the main harness on here, and then you'll need to use them depending on your head unit. This is the power harness. Let's go ahead and take you through where the power harness goes on all these head units. The main power connector will go here, 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 and here. This one over here will connect here, 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 and here. That's all for the main two connectors behind the head unit. Next is when you'll be using the extended versions of the connectors here. This is only for the 2009 models in the US, which is this head unit over here. That'll connect right there, and then you'll connect this to the main harness just over here, and you'll use that extended version for the US model only and not use this. If yours is the European or Australian model, you'll need to use this connector instead. Connect it to the main harness again, just like that, and you won't use this. So just like that, you'll need to use that, use this, you'll need to use that, and connect that over here. That's for the AC control. And then you'll see the radio antenna connector. You'll just need to use where the green outline is. So there, 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 and there. Let's go ahead and connect the GTR 14.5-inch Tesla screen. Right now, we'll go ahead and disassemble the dashboard, and we'll show you how it's installed in there. Let's go ahead and get started. If you see one of other Nifty Cities videos, you'll see a dash removal for the GTR. I'm just going to quickly show you how to remove it and sum it up. You can view other videos to see how the dash is removed. I'll go ahead and show you how to do that now bit by bit. So the first thing you want to do is remove these two pieces here on the side. You can just go ahead and put in a dash removal tool, and then you can go ahead and pull on it. There we go. That's the first piece out, and then you can do it for the other side. Once you've removed those two pieces, the next piece will be the gear knob shifter, and then you'll be removing this piece right over here. For the gear knob shifter, just drop it down, take out the pin from inside, pull it forwards towards you, and then pull it up, and then you can go ahead and pull this one. Remember to open up the armrest, and then you can go ahead and just pull on it from the side. Try and pull on it equally and balance so you don't snap the plastic. The next part would be to remove all these screws here. Go ahead and pull out the keypad once you've removed all 4 screws on the side there. Disconnect all the connectors at the back of it. Once you've removed the keypad, go ahead and tug on this and pull it out as well. There we go, just like that. Disconnect the connector behind it. We now need to remove the factory screen. You'll just need to tug the bottom of the trim and then work your way around the screen. Once you've gone ahead and lifted the upper trim above the screen, go ahead and remove the 2 screws underneath here, and then the 2 screws just above the screen there, and then you can safely pry out the screen just on plastic clips. Once you've gone ahead and pried out the factory screen, there are 2 connectors. It does vary for some GTR models. The Japanese models are equipped with a blue LVDS type connector, and then the later models after 2010 will be equipped with a brown like LVDS connector. Once you've done the top part of the dashboard, you'll need to work your way down and get to the head unit, which sits behind this CD player trim. Go ahead and remove this piece right here, which is just on clips. Once you've gone ahead and disconnected the trim off its clips, there is one small connector at the front and the stop start button connector there as well. You'll need to disconnect those. Once you've gone ahead and removed the transmission trim, we'll go ahead and remove the screw in there and screw in there to remove the CD player trim. There is also a screw at the bottom there and just there in the other corner as well. So 2 at the top of the trim and then 2 at the bottom of the trim deeper in there. Once you've removed all 4 screws, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, there is a connector here that you must disconnect, then you can remove out the CD trim. Once you've removed the CD player trim, you now have access to the head unit. You need to remove 2 screws, one down here and one down there. Once you've done those, just disconnect all the connectors behind the head unit, and then you have access to all the connectors. Some might find it easier to remove just one side of these kick panels here, so just disconnect this so you have easier access behind the head unit to disconnect all the connectors. To make it easier for myself, I did go ahead and remove the side panel. It's just on clips 1 and 2. You can do the same thing on the other side if you want to do so. As you can see here, I've gone ahead and disconnected all the connectors, and it is indeed a Japanese style head unit. This is what your Japanese models look like. They have a blue like LVDS connector there, and if some of your head units have this kind of wiring attached, that just means it's grounded. You will need to use the grounding on the main harness of the Tesla style kit. It's right there, as you can see it with a gold tip. You'll need to connect this to a ground somewhere in the vehicle to power on the Tesla style unit. Only if your head unit has a wire connected from the main harness to the head unit like this, it's time to install the Tesla style screen. Now, we are provided this bracket inside the package. So what we need to do with this is simply just place it like this. Let the 2 holes align, as you can see here, 2 holes have aligned down at the bottom and at the top. Then you can go ahead, screw these on with the original screws from factory, screw them on. So as you can see, I've gone ahead and placed the bracket. It's nice and tight. All 4 screws have gone in. The best part about the GTR is the AC box is already separated from the head unit, unlike other Nissan and Infiniti vehicles. You don't need to remove this AC box, leave it as it is, leave it connected. I know, it's going to look messy, but I promise you only need to worry about 2 or 3 connectors. Power and speaker, AC, radio antenna, and off you go. These go to the Tesla style screen. Now obviously you can fit with other options that you'd like, obviously based on different models of vehicles. You might need to install the reverse camera, but at the end of the day everything is pretty much straightforward. It only fits in one spot. I've gone ahead and connected the power and the AC at the bottom there. As you can see, it's very straightforward. I've only connected 2 connectors in this model, radio antenna, and that's pretty much it. Everything else is not needed in the GTR because they're all just for the keypads and the screen. Don't forget to connect the antennas to the screen, to the back of the screen where you see the threading there, and don't forget to connect the USB ports as well and place them wherever you like behind the dashboard. I found that the best place to connect the ground wire for the Tesla style screen from the main harness is just on the metal screen bracket. Remember, only some models need to be grounded. Now you'll notice 2 look-alike brackets. You'll need to use one or the other depending on which side your steering wheel is. Left hand, right hand, use applicable bracket. You'll know which one to use because it won't sit flush. So if it doesn't sit flush, use the other bracket, it will sit much better. Once you've installed and used the applicable knob controller and its trim, go ahead and connect it to the screen. Now you can finally mount the screen onto the dashboard and the bracket that we installed earlier. Once you've gone ahead and connected the clips into the bracket that we installed earlier, just go ahead, screw in the 2 screws at the bottom here to secure the screen even further. So in order, you'll need to put the CD player trim first, and then you'll need to put the switches and the hazard light whilst lifting and holding the screen so this can go underneath. As you can see, there are 2 little clip edges there that will need to go underneath the screen. So I'll go ahead and show you how that's done. So just like that, we have the CD player trim first, second with the switches and the hazard light, then lay the screen over the switches. So now you're ready for the final 4 screws here, and then you can go ahead and start putting the other transmission trims back together. I'll go ahead and show you how that's done. Now before fully committing, like I said before, you'll need to test everything, make sure you're happy before going ahead to putting the dash back together. So let's go ahead and test the AC. Lower the temperature there, AC on and off, front demister. Or you can just open up this menu here and change the AC controls on this menu. On, fan speed there, cool. And then you can lower the temperature there, change the mode, head, feet, whatever. And then you can change the front and rear demisters, dual zone, turn off, bang. There it is, and then swipe down to exit the AC screen. Now, like I said before, this model does not have the factory reverse camera. I'll go ahead and chuck it in reverse just to show you an example though. There is no signal at the moment, but the dynamic guidelines will stay depending on the steering wheel angle. Next, we'll go ahead and look at the settings, different apps you can do, and connecting Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So just on my phone, I'm going to open up Car Auto on the screen first, and then on my phone, I'm going to go to Bluetooth, and then I'm going to look for the screen. If it doesn't come up at the bottom there, all you need to do is just go to the Bluetooth app on the actual screen itself, Bluetooth, and then the connection up here, and stay on this section here. It's appeared on my phone, so GT6, tap that, pair, allow, and then you're going to go ahead and click use CarPlay, and then go ahead, lock your phone, and you'll see that it's connecting to the screen. But eventually it'll connect, and every other time after that will be much faster. Okay, volume control on the steering works, seeking tracks will work as well. There we go. So right now I'm inside Apple CarPlay. If I wanted to go back to the Tesla style screen software, exit up here, and then we're back at the main menu, the Android based software for the Tesla style screen. On this screen you can do many other things like change the lights around your switches, install APKs, camera to view your camera. If you wanted to get rid of this little fella over here, just click the symbol next to him, settings up the top, and then you can go ahead and turn off floating icon. And as you can see, it's disappeared. Now if you wanted to do the split screen function on the Tesla style screen itself, not in Apple CarPlay, just go ahead and click and hold this, and then you can go ahead and select another app. For example, if you wanted to do, remember not all apps support split screen, so if you wanted to do Apple CarPlay, and then you can split screen that, choose another app, and for example open up Google Chrome, You can have Apple CarPlay at the top and Google Chrome at the bottom. Easy as that. Clear all. And there you have it, guys. Those are the main functions of the screen. Now we can go ahead and put the final trim pieces back on, and you can pack it all up and be on your way. I must say, this is a huge upgrade. The dash is back together, and it is insane how huge this thing is and how well it sits in the GTR. Now, Nifty City is working on a lot of different vehicles to bring out huge screens, latest software, stuff that just blows your mind. Interior changed forever. I look forward to y'all sharing your experiences with this and how you go. If you need one of these bad boys, I suggest you visit niftycity.shop to grab one of your screens, whether it's for the GTR or any Nissan or Infiniti vehicle. I hope my video was very informative. Any questions or comments, please drop them down in the video below. Or if you have technical questions about the screen, you can go ahead and visit niftycity.shop and you can contact them through their contact form or on Instagram. Peace out, and we'll see you on the next one.